Hey everyone, today's a little different video. I've been asked several times, what do you actually do at the Sand and Shore Shop? Well, today I'm going to show you. Hi everyone, this is Clayton from the Sand and Shore Shop, and I take things like this and turn it into stuff like this. Come and watch me make shiny stuff. Hi again, this is Clayton from the Sand and Shore Shop, and like I said earlier, I've been asked several times, what do you do at the Sand and Shore Shop? And well, I guess that's a fair enough question because a lot of people don't really have a clue. But today I'm going to show you what I actually do here. The Sand and Shore Shop started off as, let me move some of this out of the way. Started off when I picked these up at the beach. These are shells. These are shells from the Outer Banks, these particular ones. And these are basically raw shells right off the beach. I take these shells, and these have been, I call them prepped. I've just taken them onto the grinding wheel, and I've taken off some of the rougher of the rough edges. And as they are now, they can pretty much be glued onto a dop stick. If some of you have seen some of my videos before, you'll know that I always run out of freaking dop sticks. I actually just bought several dowels and cut them into dop sticks, so I'd have dop sticks lying around. But these shells will be adhered to a dop stick. Then I will continue to polish them. Okay, like I said, these shells are raw shells, and I've collected thousands of them. I keep them in these containers just because I eat a lot of yogurt, and these are convenient. And here, I'll keep a couple of the raw shells out just for the sake of looking at them. And what happens is they will be polished up, and they end up looking like this. And oh, here are shells that are ready to be. This is a stone, not a shell. I also do some stones too. I will get to that later. But these are finished, polished shells. Well, they're not completely finished. They are just polished. These shells have been worked down. The irregularities have been taken off the face. Oh, here's some. These are some of my favorite. These gray and blue shells. Ugh. And here I can give you a comparison. Here's a finished shell, and here would be its counterpart beforehand. And I just take off enough of this. You can see that it's very rough. It's wavy, and this is smooth because it's been cut down and it's been polished up to a glass finish. I try not to take, well, actually, I don't take any more than I absolutely have to off of a shell because I want to save all these colors. And here's one that's got purple in it. You can see there's purple right here. And here's one that would be similar to that one. Every shell has a different setup of colors. Every one is absolutely different. So these are this is turned into this. Alrighty, I'm going to set these off to the side, and ooh, where are they? Okay. And after they have been polished, which is these guys, let me make some more room here. After these have been turned into these, then they get turned into this. Now these are a batch of smaller ones. Not all too small, but ooh, look at that one. Isn't that gorgeous? That is just absolutely beautiful. But I put a bail on them, and that's usually silver, or that's what they're telling me, that it's silver wire, not silver coated. It's supposed to be silver. And they're put onto a bail like that, and then put into a necklace. And I usually put them on a card like this when I go to a show. So when I go to a craft show, it'll be on a necklace, and the shell will be hanging on there on display so you can see. And these shells here, actually these two particular shells, there are some shells that I might pick up raw like this, and I might just polish them with a very aggressive polishing wheel like you would use for doing jewelry. And that's how you get ones like this, because there are some that you just, like this shell, if I would have cut that down, it would have taken away a lot of the color that's in there. And the same way with this one. This one is an odd shape, but it wasn't an unpleasing shape. So I just hit it with the polishing wheel as is, and there you got it. So here's another one. Here's another one that had very nice colors, and if I had ground that out, we may have lost it. And I would rather keep these shells as natural as possible, because that's what makes them nice. And also you'll see shells on the beach that are like this. You've got these ones that have these fluted type shells. If they're thick enough, they are robust enough to make into jewelry, and I can just polish them without doing any grinding to the face. And here I have some. It's like this is what those shells look like when I gather them up off the beach. I need to get in a camera. There. So you can see this one I polished just a hair right here. You can see there's some polish on it, just to see what colors would bring out, because sometimes they might not have any color whatsoever. And I hope you can see that there's very subtle colors in this one. Very subtle. And here you can see there are polished colors right here, if I stay on the camera. And here it's sort of blah, but I haven't polished that yet. So this one's going to polish up pretty nice if I ever do it. So these are my basic pieces. You know, these type go on cards like that. Well, actually, these get a bail that goes on a necklace. And to be brutally honest, I have about 12 or 15,000 of these shells. And I took a lot of time to sort and pick these out, because I don't pick up every shell. I do pick up every shell, but then I'll sort through them, the ones that will not do anything, and I take them back and put them on the beach. So let me get this straightened up here. 1, 2, 3. I really wish that would work in real life. Alrighty, now, I said my signature product from the Sand and Shore Shoppe are the kintsugi shells. And that's these guys. These came about shortly after I started doing the regular shells. And each kintsugi shell, it gets a card with its number on it. Each one's numbered and named just like a painting, because in a way each one is a painting. These are shells that are polished up just like these guys, but I fill in the empty spaces with epoxy and gold pigments. I could actually use real gold like they use for making kintsugi pottery, fixing broken glasses and bowls, etc. But the cost would be really, really high. Right now, gold is at $1,400 or $1,300 and some odd dollars an ounce. So mixing enough gold to fill in these spots would be pretty much cost prohibitive, let's put it that way. The kintsugi shells, when I pick those up, you know, I had everything set out here so I could easily get to it, and I can't easily get to it because I swear I'm a ding-dong sometimes. There it is. These are what the kintsugi shells look like when they're picked up off the beach. They're shells that have holes and gnarlies and all kinds of junk that's been eaten away at them. So I take and I fill these with epoxy that's tinted with gold colored pigment, and I'll leave 2 of these out here. And this one was done with a brass color pigment because I like to experiment here and there. I think I'm going to stick with the gold unless it's specified maybe by a customer, because the gold gives it a lot, seems to be more, I don't know, majestic. But then they are cut down, and this epoxy that I use is almost the exact hardness of the shell, so that I don't get any undercuts when I do them. And once again, when I grind this face down, after all these spaces are filled in with epoxy, I have to take as little off as possible so that I can, keep the colors in the shell. Plus, as you're grinding away, every shape changes. And sometimes you grind too much away and it just looks like holes. And if you don't grind enough away, it might look like holes. And then suddenly you reach this point where it starts to look like a painting. It's like, this may just look like a bunch of holes. Here's one that's actually, there's a bunch of holes there, but every one of those holes could be going a different direction. And when I start grinding it down and have it completely filled, they start running this way, and one will run this way, and then you start get a look like this, or like this one. I have many of those in process of being done right now. There will be a video about these a little bit later on. This is one of my favorite. It's even just a small thing, but it looks like golden frost on a window, or golden snowflakes falling down onto a bed of snow. Then I have to find a name for that, and it'll be numbered and named. And I'll tell you what, the wonderful lady who got number 1 is exceptionally pleased with it. And to be honest, I'm glad she got it. Actually, I'm glad that anyone gets any of these shells. Now, apart from the kintsugi shells and the regular shells, I do a fair amount of stones. Like here's one. I am not certain what this stone is, but it's really pretty because it has all these black dots in it. I sort of called this, and I had a few of these, I sort of called this a trout stone. It looks sort of like a rainbow trout. But one of my favorite things to cut is agate. And I do different types of agate, and oh, here we go. And here are some stones that are ready to be put onto stones and shells that are ready to be have the bail put on them. And these have been drilled, but I do a lot of agates. Here's one particular kintsugi shell that I don't know what to do with this one. This one's gorgeous. I don't know. I don't even want to drill a hole in it because it's too pretty to do that, but I have to decide soon what to do, because it's not doing me any good just sitting here, because somebody could be enjoying it. But as I said, agates are one of my favorites, and I can get agate fairly easily. And like this is a piece of chalcedony. Chalcedony is agate that doesn't have any banding in it. And here's another one. And these agates, I got these agates from one of my suppliers. I wish I could find them lying around, but unfortunately not in this area. But these agates will get a bail on them, just like this. So I do. Oh my, this is chipped. Oh, That is going to have to be fixed, and that was a pretty one too. Breaks my heart when these stones chip like that. But I tell you, if it's going to chip, I would much rather have it break or chip here than after a customer gets it. You know, because they can't control what happens after they leave here, but that hurts my heart. That was such a nice looking stone too, but it'll be fixed. I can take that and grind that down. It'll just be a little bit smaller, but it will be fixed. And here, like this stone, don't know what that is, but my gosh, it looks pretty. So it's going to be set up onto a necklace. But, you know, whatever type of stones I find, I will do those too. I don't do a whole lot of stones because I prefer to do the shells. If it'll polish, I'll try cutting it. Let's put it that way. So there you have it. That's basically what I do here at the Sand and Shore Shop. I do the kintsugi shells. I do just regular polished shells. Raw polished shells. And that should have been a kintsugi shell. But do polished shells, blah, blah, blah. Stones, and that's about it. So if you like the video, you know, hit the button down there, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and there'll be more videos coming out. Thanks for sharing some time with me, and have a great evening.